Hello guys, and welcome back to Life with Paulie. It is currently October 12th and I'm just laying in the car with Annabelle here. This is my Chihuahua Dachshund mixed and I love her to death. If you're unfamiliar with my channel, I moved out of my apartment into my 2007 Saturn Ion until I save enough money to buy a van to turn into my tiny home on wheels. And that's what I'm working on right now. Now, I'm not going to be getting a van. It's going to be a used van, and it's not going to be for about another 4 or 5 months until after winter. If you don't know, I live in New York, Coxsackie, New York, which is about 10 minutes from Catskill, New York, which is the Catskill Mountains. So it's just about ready to turn winter here. And yeah, so if you're interested in those kinds of videos, I will be showing you the transformation of the van into my tiny home on wheels. And if you want to see how I got my car set up, I'm laying on the bed right now with Annabelle. If you would like to see how I got my car set up, you can go back and watch my previous videos. But I will also be doing other videos on this YouTube station, including my life stories and different topics. So if you're interested in that kind of content, you can actually support my channel for totally free by hitting the subscribe button down below. So today I just wanted to tell you all about my Widowmaker heart attack. If you watch my other videos, you would know that I had a Widowmaker heart attack in 2021. If you're unfamiliar what a Widowmaker heart attack is, it is a heart attack where your left ventricle in your heart is 100% blocked, usually by blood clots. I had several blood clots in my heart, and my left ventricle was 100% blocked. Now, I did not know this, and I did not even know I had a heart attack. And you can be the same way and not know. Now, to start off, I want to say that when I was younger, and even in my adulthood, I really didn't have insurance. I didn't have Medicare, didn't have Medicaid or anything like that. So I wasn't getting regular checkups and I wasn't taking care of my health. And I was a little bit overweight, not much, but maybe about 40 pounds overweight. And, I used to eat a lot of junk food and a lot of food in general. And I tried to lose weight lots of times and, I just couldn't do it. And I had other underlying health issues that I really didn't know about, one of them being a type 2 diabetic. I also had high blood pressure. I also had high cholesterol. And my triglyceride levels were also high. So what happened was in October of 2021, I ended up getting what we all know, when you wear a mask. Me and my mom were living together at the time, and I was taking care of her. She had stage 4 lung cancer, and at the time in October 2021, I was taking care of her. I was her main caregiver, and at that time, she wasn't doing very well. She was almost at the end of her life, and we ended up getting what everybody, knows as the virus. And we ended up getting it actually from a hospital. I had to take her to the hospital for something. I can't remember what it was. And I took her there, and we ended up having to wait in the waiting room. And in the emergency room at the hospital, it was elbow to elbow. We all had masks on because masks were required during that time in October 2021. But we still ended up with, the virus. And after we got rid of the virus, my mom ended up in the hospital for 5 days with the virus. I ended up fighting it at home for 5 days, and I ended up getting rid of it. Then my mom came home from the hospital, and a couple days after I got rid of, or my symptoms kind of stopped from having the virus. Now, my symptoms didn't totally stop. I still had a runny nose. I actually had a runny nose from the virus for over a year, which was really annoying. But that's the only symptom that I had that was lingering over a year. But all the other symptoms went away. But I went to sleep one night in October of 2021. And when I woke up the next morning, I was face flat on the floor, face down, and I had peed myself. And I was like, I woke up. I didn't know I was on the floor. I didn't even know I fell on the floor. And I had wet myself. And I was like, what the hell is going on? So during this time, I did have diabetes stuff like the checker to check your sugar levels, and I had a blood pressure machine and things like that. So I put on a blood pressure machine. My blood pressure was high, and my sugar levels were 400 and something. And I said, oh my God, there's something wrong. I knew there was something wrong because I never peed myself before. And so I went downstairs and I told my mom, I says, look, I'm going to the hospital real quick. I'll be right back. We had somebody else living with us at the time, a friend, a family friend. And I figured that she would be able to watch my mom for a little bit, when I went to the hospital. And I went to the hospital at like 5 a.m. It was way early. My mom wasn't ready to get up yet or do anything yet. So I decided to go to the hospital. I said, I'm going to go to the hospital. I think I might have bronchitis or I might have a touch of pneumonia. So I went to the hospital. And when I got there, they immediately put an EKG on me and it came out very, very bad. And they said, we need to rush you to another hospital, which was about a half an hour away. So they ended up putting me in the ambulance and rushing me to the hospital. Now, mind you, I didn't take my phone into the hospital because I figured I was going to go to the hospital. They were going to give me antibiotics or whatever and then let me go home. I left my phone in my car. And because I left my phone in my car, I did not have any of my contact numbers. I didn't remember any of my contact numbers. I didn't have my mom's friend's number. I didn't have the person that was staying with us at the time in our apartment. I didn't have her number and couldn't get a hold of anybody. Didn't know no numbers. And they transferred me to another hospital. So my car ended up being a half an hour away at a different hospital with my phone in it. And nobody knew where I was. My mom's friend did try to get in contact with me several times and didn't find me until 3 days later, and I was in the Utica St. Elizabeth's Hospital, and I had the heart attack, and he didn't know. He finally found me a few days later. And I was very disappointed because the person that we lived with was an older lady and she knew my mom was sick. She knew my mom was wearing Depends and things like that. And she didn't really try to help my mom in any way. My mom sat there for a few days without me and I was very worried about her because I was taking care of her myself, and doing everything myself, feeding her, changing her, helping her get showers. And she was just left there for a few days all by herself. The person that lived with us did give her food and did give her drinks, but other than that, she didn't really do too much. So I was upset with that. Anyways, what happened was they ended up sucking out a bunch of blood clots from my heart, and they had to put 2 stents in my left artery in my heart to open it up and keep it open. And it must have been like that for a while. I did not feel any pain whatsoever. I did have a little bit of chest discomfort, and that's why I went to the hospital. But I figured it was because of what was going on during that time. I figured maybe I had a touch of pneumonia or a touch of bronchitis because I used to have bronchitis when I was little a lot. So that's what I thought it was. But in all reality, it was the Widowmaker heart attack, which is the most deadliest heart attack anybody ever could have. Only about 8% of people make it through a Widowmaker heart attack. So I got lucky on that note. My thing is, I think that God saved me because he knew I was taking care of my dying mother and he knew that my mom needed me, which she did end up dying in February 5th of 2022. So she ended up dying a few months later after I had the Widowmaker heart attack. But the main reason why I had the Widowmaker heart attack is because I wasn't getting health care. I did not have Medicare. I did not have Medicaid. Of course, now I got it because I got disability. But now it's a little bit too late. I wasn't getting health care. I wasn't getting diabetic medication, which now I get diabetes medication. I'm type 2 diabetic. I have high blood pressure. I have high cholesterol. And now I'm on pills for all of that, including my heart. But I went years with high blood pressure. I went years with high blood sugar. And I just let myself go. And like I said, at the time, I was a little bit overweight. I wasn't too overweight, maybe 40 pounds overweight. I think I weighed 195, and I was supposed to weigh, actually, I did weigh two something. But then I went down to 195. So I did lose a little bit of weight, but I was still overweight, considered overweight, because I'm only 5'4", so I'm a very short guy. I'm 5'4", and now I have lost weight since moving in my car, which is good. The pants that I've been wearing since I've moved from my apartment into my car are starting to fall down, so I started to have to wear a belt for them. So I have lost weight now, and I'm losing more weight, which is good because the doctors wanted me to lose more weight. It's good for my heart, it's good for my blood sugar and overall health. However, my heart is still destroyed about 35%. 35% of my heart is scarred from the Widowmaker heart attack. So I'm considered, of course, to have heart disease. Now, the time frame that I have left to live, I do not know. I guess nobody really knows when they're going to die. I'm guessing 5 years, which my heart attack happened in 2021, and it's already 2023, so I'm guessing I have another 3 years left. Now, there is somebody else that had lived with a Widowmaker heart attack for 24 years after he had a heart attack, but he also had 5 more heart attacks in those 24 years. So I don't know if that's going to be me or something else is going to happen. I'm not totally sure. I don't know how much of his heart was destroyed neither. Like I said, 35% of my heart is scarred now. And once your heart is scarred, that means your heart is not pumping enough blood through your body. Right now, my heart is not pumping enough blood through my body. It's pumping enough to sustain life for right now. But of course, it's going to get weaker and weaker as time goes on. But I am taking better care of my health now. I got diabetic, like I said, diabetic medication, type 2 diabetes. I take pills. I take pills for my heart. I take pills for my high blood pressure, my high cholesterol, and all that. So I'm keeping up on that and trying to do the best that I can and just live the rest of my life that I have left. Now, am I afraid to die? A lot of people say they're afraid to die, and then others say they're not afraid to die. I am not afraid to die because I think when I die, I'm not going to feel it anyway, and I'm not going to know it. So I'm not really afraid to die. I have lived my life. Now, I do want to stay around for this little girl right here, my little puppy dog, Annabelle. She means the world to me. I've had her now for 6 or 7 years. She is the love cuddle bug of my life, and I just love her to death, and I want to make sure I stay around to take care of her. But I mean, other than that, I'm not afraid to die. Of course, if I do die before she dies, I do have a place for her to go. My daughter will find her a great place to go, or my daughter will take her herself and take care of her. So I do have everything set up. I do have set up of what my daughter is to do if I should die, because of course my mom died. The next of kin that I have is my oldest daughter. That's the only next of kin I got. I have brothers, but I do not speak to them for certain reasons. Some families are like that, and I'll explain that story in another video. So if you would like to hear them stories, the stories of my childhood life and things like that, then I would suggest that you hit the subscribe button down below. It's totally free to do, and that's how you can support my channel for totally free. And I will be telling those stories on my channel, along with showing you transforming a van into my tiny home. But for now, I'll be telling different stories and things like that, and talking about different topics on this channel. So if you like a variety of things and you think you can relate to me and maybe it can help somebody out there, especially with the Widowmaker heart attack, I just want to make everybody aware of that it's very important to take care of your health. Even if you only check it once in a while, like check once a month, make sure you check your blood sugar, make sure you check your blood pressure. You can get blood pressure machines for very cheap at Walmart. You can get the diabetes machine, the reader you can get at Walmart for like $10, and the strips that you put your blood on, and the pokers you can get all that. You can get the whole set for about $20. So what I would suggest to you is get one of those. It would help too if you have children. I just watched a video where a mother found her diabetes kit from when she was pregnant, because she had the pregnant diabetes, whatever you call that, and her daughter was sick, and she actually had the inclination. She said that God told her to check her daughter's blood sugar levels. And she did that, and her daughter's blood sugar levels were off the chart. And she had to rush her to the hospital, where her daughter ended up in the intensive care unit because of high blood sugar. And she found out that her daughter, I think her daughter's like 5, has type 1 diabetes. So if you can't afford a doctor, go to Walmart, buy the diabetes machine, the glucose strips, the prickers for your fingers. Buy a cheap blood pressure machine so you could check your blood pressure and your heartbeat. You can do that all on your own. And then if you find something wrong, then get to the doctors or get to the hospital right away and get it taken care of, because it will ruin your organs, it will ruin your health, it will ruin your heart. And you will also have you may also end up getting a Widowmaker heart attack or a stroke or just a regular heart attack. It's a very serious situation. If you want to continue a great life and a good life and a healthy life, then I would suggest for people to do that out there. If you're feeling tired, you're feeling sick, you're feeling weak, that is a good inclination that there is something wrong. Now, like I said, my heart is weak, and I feel tired a lot. I feel weak a lot. I don't really get dizzy yet, but that time might come. But you know, take your health as number one priority. Take your family's health number one priority, including your children. You can do these things. You can check your children also if they have something wrong with them. If they feel tired, they feel weak, or they're having different issues. There's things that you can do even if you don't have health insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever the case may be. Now I have Medicaid, Medicare, and I go to the doctors regularly, and I do get disability. But my life is now limited because my life got destroyed by the Widowmaker heart attack. Basically, my health is in very bad shape. Even though I'm doing good right now, I still have a bad heart. I still have diabetic type 2. I still have high blood pressure. So remember that. Just remember that, and, keep a close eye on yourself, friends, family, children, whatever it may be. There are things that you can do that are pretty cheap. Like I said, all them items are cheap at Walmart, or you can even go on Amazon and order them on Amazon. I even have this. Let's see here if I can find it. Well, I don't know where it went, but I have a pulsometer thing too that you can put on your finger, and it tells you your pulse, and it tells you your heart rate and things. So you can even get those on Amazon, and they're only $9 on Amazon. So keep that in mind. I will see you in my next video, and see you for my next story, whatever I want to tell you or whatever topic I talk about. Please consider hitting the subscribe button. Have a good day.